Welcome everybody, Retro Python here. Today we're going to be talking about the Atari 2600. No, we're not going to be working on this 1978 Light Sixer just yet. We're going to stay with the mini consoles for the time being and work on this. This is the Atari Flashback X. Atari Flashback X was released in 2019 in an attempt to capitalize on a mini console trend started by the NES Classic, Sega Genesis Mini. It's almost a near perfect, minus the 6 black and white color switch, physical replica of the Atari 2600 in miniature form, wood paneling and all. It's built by ATGAMES in what I think is probably their best mini console to date. Basic model released included 2 wired controllers and 110 games. Due to its lack of USB port or an SD card port, it was originally thought that you couldn't add games to this. We're going to show you how to do that right now. All right, here's what you're going to need for this. Obviously, the Atari Flashback X device, the included power adapter and not included HDMI cable, the Player One joystick, an OTG cable that there'll be a link in the description. Pick one up from Amazon. Some sort of USB flash drive. I'm using a small form factor SanDisk 32 gigs right here. I really love this device. I mean, it brings back so many nostalgia, warm and fuzzies with that wood grain. I remember playing this as a kid. I still have my brother's original Atari that you saw earlier. This is the first thing I played on. This, and then I graduated to a Commodore 64. So I bought this mid-pandemic. I was going through a mini-mod phase where I was ripping everything out, putting Raspberry Pis inside these machines. I did it with a Commodore 64 Mini. I did it with a PlayStation Mini. I was about to do this one. Went as far as bought the adapters for 2600 joysticks to work on a USB device. Those really weren't that cheap. I still have them laying around. I looked at it and I said, why bother? There's a mod out for it. The ATGAMES UI isn't terrible. It's only an Atari 2600. I shouldn't really go that crazy with it. And again, the mod is great. So we're going to look at it natively, what it comes with, how it plays, and then we're going to do the mod. Should only take it really 15 minutes. Gives you about 900 games. The guys at Atari Age have done a wonderful job. Those guys are amazing. If you have never been to that site, you have to go to that site. They not only deal with Atari games, they pretty much deal with everything, but they're a lot of smart people over there. So let's take a look at what this device can do right out of the box. All right, we got this thing plugged in. Let's see what we got. Got the ATGAMES logo to start. Give us a little beat. All right, here we are at the UI. I see a big boom in the top right-hand corner. I'm not really sure why, but so you have, let's see here, how many pages of games we have. 6. So we have 11 pages of game. 10 pages each, that's 110, if my math is right. Got 2 pages of paddle games, which will take original paddle controllers. Got some bezels. See the firmware. We're at 1.8. Let's pick out a game here. Let's see what Atari games. You know what? Let's just go back to alphabetical. I think really, if you want later on, you could customize that. With the all games INI file, you could have Activision games like Frogger, put iMagic games there. It's missing like Demon Attack and a bunch of good ones, Atlantis, so you could add these. Let's try my hand at Frogger. It's been a while. All right, that was close. Come on. Oh, man. Well, I guess in my next life I shouldn't come back as a frog. All right, so let's just exit. So Frogger doesn't have a save state. Some games, not all games, have a save state. It'll actually tell you in that little menu there. Let's see if I could find you a game that actually has a save state. And I'll also show you the rewind feature, which is pretty cool. There we go. I think Asteroids has a save state. Hit the start button to start the game. There we go. You can hit start on the controller or on the actual device, up to you. It does have a save slot. There it is. So you get 5 save slots per game. You can save wherever you want. Continue from that spot. Oof, that was close. And you hit the rewind button. You can actually rewind in time. And let's purposely kill ourselves and then rewind it. Let's fly into these guys over here. There we go. Let's just say that's it. What? No. I forgot how to play asteroid. There we go. So now I can just rewind it and say, okay, oh, I'm dead again. Let's rewind it further back. And there we go. Just quit the game right from there. There we are. Oh, look at that. I didn't even know you could do that. You could search the games that way. Just read the descriptions. Pretty cool. All right, so let's see how we can now mod this game to add even more games and features. All right, so what you need to do is you need to go into your Google device, go for Atari Age, and enter, search for that inside of here. You want to search inside of Atari Age. Let's look up Atari Flashback X custom firmware. Okay. Search. Let's go into this one right here, dated March 8th. We're going to download a couple files in here. We're going to download custom firmware for your device. If you have the deluxe, it has 120 games, I think. We have a regular one. We're going to download that. We're going to download this to get rid of that boom. That annoys me so much. And we're going to look for a post by Draxon that has all his games in it. If you look at this post, he's done a lot of work. 900 plus games. Let's download that. Okay. It's done. I like to create a little folder with what I'm working on my desktop. So let's just unzip all of these into their own separate folder. Just delete them. We don't need them anymore. We're going to concentrate not on this one, the custom firmware. More importantly, this file. So you need a FAT32 formatted USB stick, which I have plugged in now as D. Okay, we're just going to drag this over. That's it. That's all we need at this time. We're going to go back to the Atari now. All right, now that we have our OTG cable plugged in with our USB stick, we're going to turn on the device. We're going to get asked if we want to upgrade because it sensed the new firmware. Just move the joystick to the left for yes. Wait about 20-30 seconds. The device is now going to reboot. ATGAMES logo. It's going to ask you if you want to update. Say no. It still has that firmware on the memory card, so it's looking for it. Say no. Move the joystick to the right for that. And now, once you're back in the menu, you could shut down a device. We're going to go back to the computer. Now that we've upgraded the firmware, we can now delete that from the memory stick. Yes. Now we want to move these two files over. Once that's done, we're going to head back to the Atari. All right, we're going to plug the OTG cable back in with the USB stick. So what we're doing now is we're going to run one of those scripts automatically at startup. And it's going to copy everything off that device and put it on the memory stick. You don't need a very big memory stick. It's Atari 2600 games. They're very small. You do have to let this run, 20-30 seconds, depending on how quick a USB stick is. You should get a 3.0. You know what? Let's have a little Frogger redemption. Now we're talking. There we go. All right, 2 for 2. The ones on the left are the hardest. Oh, fly. Oh, 3 for 3, baby. Oh, what the? I'm going to blame that on the joystick. That wasn't my fault. These joysticks are a little light, I'll say. You can use an original joystick. You just lose the menu functionality. Look at this. Can we get that last one? That's always the hardest. I'm rushing. No, come on, come on. Ugh. Well, listen. I did a lot better than I did. All right, let's put the memory card back in the PC now. All right, now that we're back in the PC, you can see we have two new folders. We have an emulator folder and a ROM folder. That's all copied from that script that we just ran. So in the ROM folder, you have all your ROMs that essentially were on the base unit, now copied to the memory stick. 349 items. Here, you can see that there's a small file and a large file for the image. I guess one is for the in-game menu. And then you have an emulator menu, emulator folder. Not sure what adventure is there, but this has everything you need. You could change anything you want as far as the UI goes. You could change any bezel, any graphic, any icon, any controller, just like you could an emulation station on a RetroPie. You know, when you create your own theme. You can do anything you want with this. It's yours. Have at it. I think Atari Age even has some themes posted you could grab. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back. Let's change the view. Go back to details. We're going to go back into the ROM folder. Details again. And we're going to copy everything we got from Draxon. This folder here. We're going to, you can read his file if you want. Take some time, the guy did. We're going to select everything. It's over 2,725 files. So take a little bit. The artwork is sometimes bigger than the game, I think. I'm going to drag it over, and we're going to say yes to replace any files. Replace the files. Though you probably don't have to. Let's do it anyway. All right, now that the ROMs are copied over, let's do one last thing. Remember that boom bothered me so much, so there actually is a Sans boom theme that they just overwrote that graphic. So let's just take everything here and throw that into that emulator folder. There we go. This will only take a second. Replace everything. All right, that pretty much is it. We're going to take the USB card, the flash disk out of the computer and put it back into the OTG of the Atari. I promise you, this is the last time. I know we've done a lot of swapping. We've done more swapping than at a Mormon housewarming party. We're done after this. I apologize if I offended any Mormons. Thank you. Let's go back to the Atari. All right, now that you have the USB stick plugged back into your OTG cable, which of course is plugged into your Atari Flashback, we're going to reboot this thing. It's going to take a little bit longer to boot up, probably about 15 seconds or so. Listen, you just added 10 times the amount of games. It's going to take a little longer to boot up. Good things come to those who wait. It'll be up shortly. You'll be playing whatever you want to play. There's a lot of new games on this thing. Games that were never even released and games that people made, like Alien vs. Predator, as you see there. So let's see how many games are actually on this thing. Remember, we had 11 pages. We're well past that now. Double that. In the 50s now, it's over 500 games. 60, 600 games. You guys can do math. 91 pages of games. We were at 11. What'd this take us? Even with my nonsensical babbling, 15 minutes? Those guys at Atari Age really did a hell of a job. I suggest you go there. Check out their other stuff. There's tons of great work. Let's scroll through some of these. Stampede, that was a great game. You know, if you don't like this box art, you can change it. You go in that ROMs folder and change the box art. I saw a Pixels game in there. I'm not even sure what that is. Mortal Kombat. 2 versions of Mortal Kombat. I mean, there's stuff obviously that people have made and added to this, probably taken from Atari age. Let's try to find it. I think I saw Halo in there. Flappy Bird. Why is there 2 ETs? I'm not sure. Play around it. Drunken Pooper looks like a great game. Right next to Dragster. Double Dragon. What if Double Dragon was actually made? Let's find something good to play. I'm going to find one of my favorite games. If I can find it, if I can spell. There it is. Demon Attack from iMagic. All the iMagic games are great. I may create my own iMagic section on this. Atlantis. Loved it. I'd played this before, so there's a save slot, which can help you actually beat the game, you know, with the rewind function and the save slot. Maybe I'll actually be able to beat this game instead of getting so frustrated. I used to bite the controller. I actually have teeth marks on my controller because I have mental issues. Anyway. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Retro Python. I'm going to play this game, reminisce about my youth, maybe buy a controller here or there. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Got a lot of stuff coming down the pike, or the pipe, or I'm not sure what that saying is. We got a PS1 digital coming up, PS1 mode, optical disc emulator. Got one of those for the Saturn. Got one of those for the Dreamcast. Hopefully I can get my hands on a Dreamcast digital from Black Dog Tech. Waiting for an N64 digital to come out. I think pre-orders start May 3rd. Excited about that. I got an EverDrive coming to me for the N64. We'll do a review on that. Got some Atari 2600 mods, GameCube, everything, every device. We got some Wii U. My house is full of consoles. Tons of stuff to do. Nintendo 3DS. A whole bunch of great stuff coming down. Don't miss out. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Keep on gaming.